Hey guys, it's Paul with SlasherNext.com, and I'm finally going to do another obscure horror VHS review, and this time it's going to be Home Sweet Home. Now, someone had recently purchased the copy I got from New Mexico, and they had told me they enjoyed the movie and they watched it several times in a row, and I thought to myself, I haven't seen the movie in such a long time, let me give it a try. So I started taking some notes because I thought it would be a great opportunity to do another VHS review. It's released by Media Home Entertainment. The title of the movie is probably what turns people away from this movie if they've seen it written down in a book or something. Home Sweet Home is not your typical slasher title, and I think that's what really killed the movie. The movie came out in 1981, and that was the first slasher cycle. You had Halloween that came out in 78, and then you had Friday the 13th in 1980, and it seemed like Friday the 13th really opened up the floodgates, and you had all these imitations. A skew of slasher films came out around this time, and this seemed to be gobbled up by many of the better ones. Now, a lot of people want to think of this movie as a Thanksgiving-themed slasher movie, holiday-themed slasher movie. I don't. The theme of Thanksgiving in this movie is so scarce that it really plays no role in the movie whatsoever. The only references that I remember, there might have been several that I missed, but I'm pretty sure the only reference to Thanksgiving in this movie is the DJ on the radio in the beginning. He says that his wife wants to have 50 people over for Thanksgiving and everybody wants drumsticks. Now, if you don't pay attention, you'll miss it. But that's the only time I remember the word Thanksgiving even being said. Later in the movie, they are having a Thanksgiving dinner. There is a family coming together, but Thanksgiving plays such a small role in the movie. When you have movies like Halloween and movies like Silent Night, Deadly Night, or even Black Christmas, Christmas themes, like in Silent Night, Deadly Night, where Billy is tormented by the image of Santa Claus. When he puts on that suit, he becomes Santa Claus. Santa Claus is a strong Christmas theme, and it plays a part in the movie. That's why Silent Night, Deadly Night is a holiday-themed slasher movie. This isn't. I don't want to think of this as a Thanksgiving Day slasher movie because the theme isn't strong enough. So for all of you people who want to keep calling this a Thanksgiving-themed slasher movie, I disagree. You might be able to make a connection with the killer saying he's coming home for the gathering of the family on Thanksgiving and he wants to kill his family, but that's part of the problem of this movie. The killer has no connection to any of the family members. At least it's not told to us if there is one. It's just a guy who breaks out of a mental facility. That's it. What makes this different than a lot of slasher movies coming out at that time is that you see his face. The guy who plays the killer is a fitness guru, Body by Jake, and he's crazy in the movie. It's kind of stupid, like he's always screaming, happy, laughing, but you don't know why he wants to kill this family. You just know that he's been doing PCP, and he's just crazy, and he just happens to stumble upon his family. He starts killing them off one by one. That's all it is to this killer. There's no connection, there's no real story, it's just a family being knocked off one by one. In the credits, the killer is called Killer. Even though the disc jockey who says he escaped a mental facility this morning, blah, 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 he gives him the name of Jake Jones. And it's funny because the guy's name, the Body by Jake guy, his real name is Jake, obviously. So what I'm kind of thinking is that they kind of tagged on this whole intro later to kind of make some money or try to put the fitness guru's name in the movie. Give him his own name, Jake, right? But they failed miserably with the title. If this movie had been called Thanksgiving Day Massacre or something more bloody and gruesome, this probably would have been released on DVD several years ago. This lame title really, it gets gobbled up by all the cooler titles. My Bloody Valentine, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Maniac, all these really strong horror-themed titles. And this one, it just failed. Now, it was re-released by some budget VHS company, and it was renamed Slasher in the House. Of course, it's more relevant because it is a more horrific title, but still, they left out Thanksgiving from the title. Now, another big problem with this movie is the characters. I was watching this movie, and it's really hard to kind of tell who's related to who and how, because nothing is really said about that. You know that a couple of guys are going up to this house with their girlfriends, you know that, but you don't know, are they going to visit their parents? It's really sketchy. It's really not made too clear to you. You find out later that one of the guys is just renting an apartment upstairs, and he's coming with his girlfriend. I mean, you would never imagine he was just a guy renting the apartment upstairs. You would think that he's part of the family. There's nothing unique about any of these characters, except for one character, and he's in the credits as Mistake. I think he's supposed to be the kid of the family, but he looks like a grown man with makeup on his face, running around with a guitar, annoying people. He's probably the most interesting character in the movie, but it just seemed like a desperate attempt to make something unique about this movie. Everybody hates him in the family, except for the little girl, Angel, in the movie. I guess that's supposed to be his sister. And he shows her magic tricks. He does this one magic act that lasts a lot longer than it has to in the movie. Now, the deaths in this movie aren't very gruesome at all, not by any means. There's some blood, I think there's some stabbing, there's a couple strangulations, which aren't very bloody, of course. But somehow they manage to get blood in the movie. In the beginning of the movie, he runs over an old lady with the car, which I guess is funny, because he's just this maniacal, crazy guy. But one of the most memorable death scenes in this movie, probably the only scene that most people would remember, is the scene where, I think the father of the family, if that's who he is, he's trying to steal gas from Jake's station wagon that Jake stole from someone else that he killed. Jake is hiding in the bushes, but he's stealing his gas, and then his car breaks down. He's like, let me steal the car's battery too. He's under the hood trying to steal the car battery. Jake comes out of the bushes, jumps, his entire body jumps onto the hood, and kills the guy. It's just a silly, crazy scene just to see him jump on the hood like a maniac, crushing this guy's head. Now, Jake talks very little in the movie. The only time he does talk, for the most part in the movie, is when he's kidnapping one of the girls from the house. It's a girlfriend of one of the brothers, or whoever the hell the guy is, and Mistake is there. Mistake is like saying, take me instead, take me instead. And Jake tells Mistake that women are no good, man. Women are no good. A really misogynistic killer. But it's funny. I always love those misogynistic lines because they're just so silly and ridiculous. It's hard to believe them. Funny thing about that is that when Jake does take Maria, Mistake is trying to bribe Jake. Say, listen, don't hurt her. I'll show you some magic tricks. I'll play guitar for you. I mean, are you serious, dude? He's really gonna not kill Maria just so he could watch you do a lame magic trick? Really, come on. Now, the woman to survive at the end of the movie, she stabs Jake in the back with a knife. The knife stays in this movie throughout that whole night. And he's still running around like a maniac trying to kill this girl, and then she plays dead. She wakes up the next morning thinking everything's okay, and then Jake pops out of somewhere, still running around like a maniac, with the knife still in his back. All night he's had that knife in his back, and he didn't even take it out. It's just stupid. But eventually the police get to the house, and they shoot Jake. Jake falls to the ground. Everyone thinks he's dead. Last frame, he opens his eyes. You probably could have expected that, but he opens up his eyes. The movie was directed by Nettie, Pena, who also directed a popular porno flick with Jamie Gillis and John Holmes called Dracula Sucks. And if she directed that, I'm kind of guessing that she directed a bunch of other pornos, because you just don't jump into the business directing some famous porn stars like that. But on IMDb, she only has 2 credits, I believe, and it's for this movie and Dracula Sucks. But she probably did a bunch of other pornos. But I looked up her name on Google, and she's having a premiere of some documentary about windmills coming out like tomorrow, ironically, or the next day. Someone who was more successful is that little girl Angel, who only had a few lines in the movie. Her name is Vanessa Shaw, and she went on to do big Hollywood movies like 3:10 to Yuma and stuff like that. Another known person in this movie, another known actor, is Don Edmonds. I forget who he plays character Bradley in the movie, I think. He's actually the director of the first 2 Ilsa movies. Those 2 movies he made like 5 years before this one. Overall, I would recommend this movie. Just because of the killer. The killer is totally ridiculous with his insane laughing and running around and him looking like a big bodybuilder. It makes the movie fun in a way. But I would not suggest anyone to watch it more than once or twice. Maybe you like the movie. You can watch it as many times as you like, but it's not something I would watch more than once or more than twice. The title makes the movie forgettable, unfortunately. The only thing memorable about this movie is the body by Jake Guy acting like a total idiot throughout the movie. That's it. There's nothing interesting about the cinematography, nothing interesting about the camera shots or anything like that. Nothing interesting about the plot or the title. Like I said, the Thanksgiving theme is in the movie so scarce. Don't go into this movie thinking that there's going to be pilgrims running around killing people or anything like that. The Thanksgiving theme is in the movie so little that it doesn't even make a difference. So that's Home Sweet Home. VHS isn't too rare. I suggest someone anyone to pick it up just because of the artwork. If you don't like this kind of movie, but just pick it up for the artwork. The artwork is classic slasher artwork. Look at it. Just a hand holding a bloody knife. That's as simple as it gets. There's Body by Jake on the back of the box right here. It's not a really rare movie, but it's not on DVD yet. I'm surprised it's not. But keep a lookout for it. Give it a watch and tell me what you think. This has been Paul with SlasherIndex.com. Hope to do another review for you guys soon, so keep a lookout. Have a good night.
Please don't hurt her. Look, I'll do anything for you. Please take me instead. Don't hurt her, please. Look, I'll play my guitar for you. I'll sing. I'll do some magic, please, mister. My God, please take me instead. Please don't hurt her. Please.
Listen, man. Listen to me. Women are no good. They'll only cause you problems, man. My mother was no good like that!
Crazy! No!